Good evening, everybody. How are you? Sorry, I thought my thing was on mute. Hello, everybody. How are you? This is issue 39. I'm Penny, and this is my co-host, Horlicks.
Hello, I'm Horlicks. As you know me now.
So, what have you been up to the last week?
Not a lot, just busy working, uh, doing a little bit of modelling on the 3D printer, and I'm just starting a new project which I'm really excited about, which was supposed to be a surprise, but
Which you're now going to have to tell us about.
No, I won't. But Penny was earwigging, and now she knows everything.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see how I was earwigging when you left your mic on.
It wasn't plugged
Okay.
in. I don't know what was
Well,
going on. It must have come
I,
from one of the webcams.
it must have been telepathy then. Um, right. Well, I think this week's going to be a short issue, a nice issue, but a short issue, which is great because I've got so much to tell you about for that. Well, even today, I had a day off from work today to do some stuff, and it was probably, I wish I'd gone back to work. It would have just been a lot easier. So, I'll just quickly catch up on the chat before we crack on with the build. Luke's transport video says good evening. Roger Kendall, good evening. James Robertson, Daniel Simpson, Mark Knight, Paul. I'm going to call you Paul because it's a lot easier, Paul. Mark Knight, Dave Say, Luke's transport videos again. Dave Mill, Adrian Langley. Hi, Adrian. Mark
Hello.
Knight, Chris Campling. Chris Campling's made it on time this
Oh,
week.
he's on time.
Oh. 32 Soul, Daniel Simpson. Luke's transport videos. Do you know what? I just thought of that comment. That company should make a right renowned B10 BLE. Personally, I'd rather see the B8 or the B6s. I think it is, and but yeah, the B10. I did like that bus. Fighter sweep. Paul again. So right, shall we build?
Let's build.
Okay,
This is the
so
first time
we
I'm seeing
are.
this, so quite excited.
It looks a nice issue. I mean, I think we've been spoilt with an awful lot to do. Um, I mean, obviously we've not built it, so we don't know. A big thank you to Adrian. Adrian is really going to help us out in a couple of weeks' time. He's going to be scanning the magazines for us because sometimes I am under a little bit of pressure to get things done. It really depends on my shift patterns. Um, so he's going to be scanning them in, which is going to be better for me because I like I do like the surprise, and obviously because I need to scan the magazine so that Horlicks can see it, it means I do get a sneak peek of the magazine. And it'd be nice to be 8 o'clock on Wednesday. This is the first time I've ever seen it, which gives you guys, an idea of what it's really going to be like. I hope anyway. Right, so let's have a quick look at the page. Oops, I've just pressed the menu. So this is what we're looking at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 parts and a million screws.
Yeah.
Now, this looks a little bit reminiscent of one of the DeLorean videos that I saw. Am I right in thinking that the DeLorean seats were like a hard back? You've got a padding in the middle and then like a leathery, plasticky material for the actual surface.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This is what this seems to be. You've got like a seat base, a backrest, and the upholstery. Backrest pad, seat pad, backrest, upholstery, seat support. So do you want to go through them and then I'll check my parts off?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm only going to use the one tray today because they all look fairly large parts. And then
Okay.
obviously I'll look at them and I'll describe them as I see them. So
I know, the more I'm seeing your parts tray, the more I want one. I'm going to have to print them.
well, I will actually be showing it off later on. I made a promise to Adrian that I will show him my drawer. I will show him my drawers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I need to show Adrian. I like to do a show for all people, but obviously sometimes individuals ask me for something, it's just a
Yeah.
little bit easier if I do it on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Yeah, it's all,
sorry,
all good
I'm
fun.
actually struggling getting these out. I don't know if there's a piece of sellotape. No, there's no sellotape. It's just me useless with bits of plastic.
They are difficult, aren't they? I find that.
Oh, there we go.
And then if it gets caught, everything goes pinging across the front room or
Oh
the
God, we've all
room.
done that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Right, so I'm gonna let we've got 13 JP screws, so I'm just gonna chuck them straight in there. There's one spare already because that was from last week. I'm just gonna lob them straight in there. We all know what a JP screw is. Well, we all know what a screw is. Okay. So, would you like to go through the
Yes.
parts?
Okay. So 39A is a seat base.
Okay, and that's right. Basically, you've got a piece of plastic, 4 screws there, 2 screws there, with a little post at the bottom. Nice hard plastic. That's
Brilliant.
fine.
39B is a backrest.
Okay, now that might be this piece. That looks like it could be a backrest. So 4 holes there and flat on the front.
Brilliant. 39C is a seat upholstery.
Right, which is actually rubber. Now, these at the moment, you've got 2 of them and they look, they're not quite identical, but there's not a lot between them. So, I don't know if you can just see there. So, I don't think we'll get to know which is which until we actually fit them. I think that'll be the bottom, actually.
Yeah, looking at the shape.
Yeah, whereas this is a bit more rounded. So, at this stage, I'm going to say this is the actual seat.
Okay.
Okay.
39D backrest pad.
Okay, and I can tell this is the right one because we've got 4 little notches. Okay.
Okay. 39F is... No, sorry, 39E is a seat pad.
Seat pad. Okay, well that can only be this one. But this isn't... I don't know.
Seat upholstery, which...
39E we're up to.
39... Yeah, oh god, I'm getting all confused here. There are all these pads and upholsteries. Right, yeah,
Okay.
39E is...
It's a 2-dimensional picture and a 3-dimensional object. So I think it's this one. But obviously as we come to fix it, or put it together, then obviously we'll know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so what was that? 39 is
F.
F now. Backrest upholstery.
Which I think is this second rubber bit. Okay.
Yep, and then 39G a seat support.
Okay, and that's not spring. It looks like it'll go up and down, but it actually doesn't. It's got a little locating pin on it and a little receiving hole there. Okay, and that's it.
And
So,
then, yeah, 30, and obviously the 13 JP screws you put away earlier.
okay, and I'll be honest with you. I think some people are going to complain about this, but I think I've said the last couple of weeks I'll actually welcome an easier issue. Because it's just nice to have a little bit less to do. God, I didn't think I'd ever say that. So there's my pot with my JPs, and then I'll let you show us the first set of instructions.
Okay. There we go. So the first thing we need to do is fit the seat pad 39E to the seat base 39A. Fix in place with 4 JP screws through the bottom of the seat base into the race sockets in the seat pad.
Okie dokie. Right, so the first thing I did, obviously I do a little dry fit while Horlicks was describing things. This part that I thought was 39B is actually 39E. And then this one that I thought was E is actually B. No, yeah. So the bit that I thought, yeah. So I've swapped them. I need to swap them back. So this is actually the correct part. You've got little T-shapes, exactly the same as this one. Having said that, This could be B, E, sorry. So, yeah.
Difficult. It's confusing, isn't it? They're all.
I'm going to test fit them both. Now, that doesn't fit, so that has to be the backrest. So this one does fit fine. So you're looking for, there's two parts that have got T-shapes in them. Trying to get a good focus. I think I might just change this to manual focus and have it about there. So you see the T-shapes, and they both have T-shapes. This one will fit fine. This one won't. So no complaints there about that. So that goes in, and then 4 JP screws. And I will confess I did cheat. I had a look at the JP screw, and I've test fitted the screwdriver head, so I've gone straight in with the best head for it. So as I do every week, I'm just going to support that, and I'll just pop the screw in just enough so it bites. So now that's held that in. Oops. And we have Rick the Rock Pate with us today. Springy Sea Easy mod. Yeah, I suppose it could be actually. Are many people thinking about mods other than weathering?
I haven't personally yet because I'm just I was just going to wait and see. I mean, I'm not really that far enough to mod anything yet, anyway. But
no.
Yeah, it's difficult. I don't think I will.
No.
But then I think that's just lack of confidence because, I'm still a beginner at painting as well. And, if I start doing something and then I mess it up completely, I think that's what I'm more worried about.
Okay, now as I've screwed these in, it seems to have lifted the front up. So I don't actually know if that front is in correctly. So I'm just going to undo these back screws. I think that has gone in correctly. It's gone in at an angle. Yeah, actually, I'm looking at stage 3. I can see it should have gone in at an angle. I was just a little bit worried that the screws might have pulled this off a little bit, but I don't think it has. We'll soon find out later on. If it all goes in wrong, we know that it's all down to this stage. So there we go. So we've got what looks to me like a toilet seat. That probably sounds like I'm being critical, but it's not. Okay, so stage 2.
Yeah. So you need to take the backrest pads 39D and the backrest itself 39B. Check the orientation of the backrest. The flange at the base of the backrest is to the rear of the seat. And then fit the parts together and fix with 4 JP screws.
Okay, so nice and simple. Take this piece, which the orientation on the mag is like this. See if I can adjust that, will be a bit better, won't it? There we go. And then this goes in flat a bit at the bottom. It's not totally flat, but it's these. You see these bits are rounded, and that's going to go on like so. If you've taken this again, this is the one with the little T shapes on it. Excuse me. If you've taken that on the last issue and you force that onto there, then you're going to be left with a piece that isn't going to fit. I don't think you'll get that in anyway. The shapes of them are that different that it's just not going to happen. So exactly the same as the last one. I'm going to pop this screw in just enough so that it bites, and then we can start putting the other screws in. And I'm going to keep an eye on the orientation now because I think, I thought the other one had moved, and I don't know if it did, but I'll just keep an eye on this. So I'm going to have a look at it before I start, and then I'll have a look after I finish. Yeah, Mark, weathering is when you add paint effects. So you put dirt and grime, for example, in all the recesses, where obviously dirt would collect a lot easier. I've got these screws in just enough to bite. I've got all 4 in now, so I'm doing them up. I'm not doing them really tight. I'm just doing them until the screwdriver has got quite a lot of resistance. It's better to have them a little bit loose, then you can always give them a little bit more than it is to have them too tight in the plastic cracks. So that I'm very happy with. Okay. I've got a feeling this is going to be the shortest episode ever. So there's stage 3.
So now that part's done, we need to fit the flange on the rear of the seat backrest 39B to the race section of the seat base 39A, fix in place with 2 JP screws.
Okie dokie. So another nice easy one. So we're going to take the toilet seat bottom and we're going to pop it in so that the flange is pointing away from the back, and that's just going to go on like so. And this is going to be slightly trickier because of the position of how you're holding it. And one screw in. There you go, that goes in really nicely. So just enough so that it bites. You can see there it's really, really loose. And then I can put this down now because it's holding. So second screw in. Just enough to bite, and then I will just a couple of screws on each. It doesn't actually take that many turns until it's tight. So just keep going until it wants to stop. And that's on tight enough. I'm happy with that. Okay.
Brilliant.
Okay, so section 4.
4. So in this, we're going to be fitting the backrest upholstery. Upholstery.
Upholstery?
Yeah, we'll stuff a chicken in it. No,
I was going to say, I don't think we're allowed live food on buses.
Do you know what this is? Exactly, this is the DeLorean. The DeLorean seats. Yeah, it's exactly the same principle.
Right.
So fit the backrest upholstery 39F over the backrest pad 39D, ensuring the ridges on the inside of the upholstery fit into the grooves on the backrest pad. Then fit the seat upholstery 39C over the seat pad 39E. These are push fit.
Okay. Oh no, push fits. Sorry. So this is part. I'll just give it a test first. So I can see that there's 2 notches there and 2 there. So I think that's the back. Yeah, look. I don't know if you can see in there the notches on the back line up. So we've actually had that the wrong way round. Oh, we actually had it the right way round. So there's the back going in. Because of the shape of them, they need to go right. What you've basically got is a channel. So you need to put it on that way. You can't push it in from the side because you see where it gets fatter on the sides. So it needs to be lined up over and then push. Very, very simple. Oh, and that's a proper bus seat. That is hard as a rock. That's so realistic. And then this one. Oh, maybe I have got it the wrong way round. That's interesting. Oh, do you know what? No, I did have it the right way round. Okay, it looks like you might want to fit the bottom one first, because that will give you more room to play with going back there. And then we can fit the top one. But obviously being push fit connections, they come out as easily as they go in. Oh, that's really struggle, that is. Did you have this much trouble with the
Yes, I did. Yeah, I had to really mess around with them for a while to get it all sitting right.
Do you know what? I'm going to take that back off, and I'm going to deal with these two separately. So I'm actually going to go back and undo stage 3. You'll see why. So now I can get the bottom pad on. Make sure that's in fine. See, now I can play with the back pad. There you go. Now I can place that in there. How good is that? That's a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a bit of a shame that they've not thought of that themselves. As of now, I've got to rescrew a screw into plastic, which has already been cut. Shouldn't make too much difference. Once or twice isn't going to kill it, but obviously, once you've got a screw, it's a bit like the MFI principle, isn't it? MFI. Does anyone remember MFI? Probably IKEA.
Yeah, MFI.
You put the screws in, and the furniture really holds well and is solid. But each time you undo it and put it back in again, it gets a little bit looser. Right, there we go. So I'm really happy with that now. And yeah, for the benefit of anyone that isn't a bus driver, that seat is ultra realistic. That is hard as a rock. Would you agree with me there, Dave? I think Dave will know. Don't want to lump on that seat too hard because it'll send your tailbone into your brain.
Do you have to take your own cushion with you?
It's advisable, yes.
Yeah.
It's funny, I'll tell you about it later on. It's just an interesting conversation that we had on Facebook today that I just thought made me laugh. So, right, okay, what's next on the agenda?
Okay, so now you need to fit the seat support 39G over the cylindrical peg on the cab floor 35A. Note, there is a pin on part 39G which locates in the cab floor to prevent it from twisting. The support is not fixed in place at this stage.
Okay, so nice easy stage. So we've got the cab floor, and there's our post for our seat. Just in the front there, you can see a little hole. On this piece, we've got that little peg there. So that peg wants to go facing forwards. And actually that went in a lot. It just went straight in there. Probably just a coincidence, but yeah, you got to find that peg, and the rest just literally falls into place around it. So that's it. That's an entire stage 5 done. Except my wires don't look as nice as theirs.
Okay. Okay,
So,
the next step 6.
Yep.
Just load that. There we go. So fit the peg on the bottom of the seat base 39A into the seat support 39G. From below, fix the seat base in place with the JP screw. This will also hold the seat support in place.
I'm just going to answer a query right quickly as I do this. Rick the Block Pate says, why is the driver's seat so hard? The driver's seat is so hard because the bus companies don't care about the drivers. No, I don't know. It's probably just cheap materials. Right, so this is going to go in now. I'll just take this off. You'll see that this is kind of round with a couple of bits sticking out of the side. I don't know what you'd call that. And then you can see that this has got like a peg on it. You've got a cross on the bottom, but on the ends of the front and the back, it just comes down a little bit. That looks like it's going to line in there, which it does. Yeah, like that. So obviously we'll do that with this on. So you'll know once it's in. So actually I would advise that little dry fit there, because then you know it is going to go in. Right, so my seat's gone in. I'm wiggling it side to side. I know that's in correctly. I'll just pop my finger on it to support it. And I think what might be easier if I just drop my screw in, check that's gone in the right way. Saves me running around the table fishing for it. So we'll just do that to what I think is just going to hold it. Yep, there it is. And then I will continue to tighten that up. I can't find the screw right. There we go. So be gentle, because although that looks like it's quite fat, there's not an awful lot of plastic holding that. Right, that's as tight as it wants to naturally go. So we'll give the seat a wiggle, and that's tight, and that actually looks really nice. I do like that. That's simple but effective. I don't get what this back bit is, but that's fine. I'm really happy with that. It looks realistic. It looks the biz, and yeah, I'm happy. And I think that's it, isn't it?
And that is it. Yes, we got the finish.
Okay, so.
Finish views. So I'm wondering. So I'm assuming that the passenger seats on the bus are going to maybe be made out of a different type of material, because they're not going to be all as hard as the driver's seat, are they?
No, they care about the passengers. No, they should be cloth. So yeah, because I think that'll be that patterned London transport pattern. But then we don't know, because this is from the 50s, 60s. So I don't actually know when because I don't know if you haven't been to many different places, you won't have noticed this, but buses have certain patterns on their seats. And what you'll find is that First Group have a certain pattern, Arriva have a different pattern, Stagecoach has a different pattern, London Transport has a different pattern. You know, everybody has their own different types of pattern. So the pattern that we should be getting with this would be London Transport pattern. But I don't know what that was at the time that this bus was built. So we might get people say, because this is something that I'm starting to notice come up on Facebook. People are saying, I'm doing this, that, or the other to make it more realistic. And yes, you're not wrong. It's not unrealistic, but it's unrealistic for that model at that time. If you get what I mean,
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it should be right. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. Mark Valentine says they could be plain vinyl. VLT 290 Ian said, "Can you now put the handbrake in?" Yes, you can still get the handbrake in. I'm now going to have to be more careful because the handbrake is there. But now I've not finished this, and there's a reason I haven't finished it, and that's because I've cocked it up. I start to paint this black, and then I bought a book which has gone missing. Oh, why do I lose things? Anyway, I bought the oh, I've got it. I knew I had it. I bought this Routemasters book, Enthusiast model. Mainly because we were looking up at the levers, and I just lied to you. I found a video on YouTube about, it's called cab restoration or something, and what I've discovered is that I first of all thought this brown was badly coloured wood. It actually isn't. That is the... Sorry, we're getting an echo apparently. We've had that before, haven't we?
An echo.
About the echo. Yes, I have. Well spotted, 32 Sol. I'll come to that in a minute. So this colour is actually the colour that they've painted the aluminium. So that is actually the correct colour. So now I've got to try and find a colour match so that I can repaint this handbrake back again. or I could swap it for my Newport build. Sorry, what happened? Oh, that's better. I could put this in the Newport build and paint all the interior black. But if I do that, I've got to replace these decals. So I think the easiest option would be to get a colour match, and then I'm going to repaint this.
If that was bare plastic, would you not be able to use some sort of paint remover if you wanted it back the same colour?
Really good idea. I don't know what would happen if that's. Yeah, I think that's painted. So if I use paint remove, it might remove the brown paint underneath.
Right.
But well, I mean, it's my cock up. I've tried to be a bit too enthusiastic. You know, if someone else has painted, I know someone said that they've painted theirs black. That's fine. You know, if anyone's happy with the black. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think it looks awful. Obviously, I haven't done the silver bits yet, but it don't look awful, does it?
No, not at all.
So, but I'll probably just get a colour match as close as I possibly can. If it's not an exact match, I'm really not going to worry. Did it ever have a matte in the cab? I doubt it very much. So yeah, 32 Sol has been very eagle-eyed. I actually picked this up wrong. Don't know if you can see in there. I've actually broken the knob off the handbrake. The engine stop. If you can see that. What I was planning on doing was making a tiny ball of plastic and just, yeah, I'm just going to make either a tiny. What I actually did, I did some soldering the other night, and where I was tinning the end of the solder, I was kind of shaking it off and making tiny balls. So what I was actually thinking about doing, and because I was shaking them onto a wet sponge, they were coming out exact circles. They were like little ball bearings. And I thought, what I might do is I might just sit there tinning the end of a soldering iron, keep shaking bits off, and just do that many, many times until I get one that's exactly the right size that I want. Because if you get enough random sizes, one of them's going to be right, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then I'll just super glue it on and not touch it again. Chris Campbelling says, talking of cock-ups, I've deleted my last R2 live video and I can't get it back. And Dave Milne says that he's seen a video, but his dairy column was brown as well. But yeah, Daniel, you've just reminded me actually. I'm thinking about doing some weathering. Probably not on this one, but I'm going to just do a little bit of dry brushing of silver down near the pedals, just to represent where the driver's heel has been. But I'm still in debate over that because this is meant to be a new bus. I'm building this as it rolled out of the factory. So, only one more thing to look at, I believe, and that's next week. Don't know if you're on it. Not quite. Now, I don't know why, but the scan didn't come out so well. But the description reads, sides of the driver's cab are supplied and various accessories are attached. And there's a double coincidence here because one, I was talking to someone, there's a couple of, oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong here. Right, there's a couple of screw holes here. So obviously something's going to screw into that. But if you put it onto the chassis, it's so close to the engine that you cannot access those holes. So I was talking to someone about it, I said, I'm really not sure what's going to happen. And then it suddenly dawned on me, it's going to be bodywork. So we're probably going to put bodywork on and then put this into the chassis.
Yeah.
And I reckon that's where they're going to go.
Yeah, I can tell that's where it's going to go. Because if you look carefully at the image as well, you've got the long straight edge and then it sort of goes upwards and that matches the shape of the side of that cab.
Right. the second coincidence is that we have a very special guest come on every 4 weeks, and he will be coming on next week. And I seem to remember he said that he was really looking forward to doing some body work. Have I lost you, Horlicks?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, do you remember him saying that he's really looking forward to the body work?
Yeah,
So we've got the excellent Dave Say coming on next week, subject to confirmation.
absolutely.
And he's coming on just at a point where we start to get some nice body work come in. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think we'll
Gonna
see
be
someone very
amazing.
happy.
Yeah.
Hello to Izzy Harris. How are you?
Hello, Izzy.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this because at the moment, I mean, it's looking absolutely magnificent at the moment. However, it's looking like a generic large vehicle. It looks lovely, but mine's up there still on the shelf. But that could be turned into a truck, a bus, anything really. It's just a chassis, an engine, and some wheels, and a driver's cab. Now that we start to get the bodywork on, it's going to be absolutely no doubt about what it is. So it is now starting to look like a bus. So I'm happy with that. And yes, Daniel, I apologise. On Facebook this morning, someone had put about more bodywork, and I went, more bodywork? I wasn't aware we've got any. And I absolutely, I mean, it's 40 weeks ago, but I absolutely forgot about the wing and the bonnet. It's been that long, and it's just sat there. Oh, here it is. It's been sat on the shelf since January, and I just completely and utterly forgot about it. So yeah, so we are getting more body work as opposed to some body work. Sorry, were you about
Yeah,
to
and
say something?
yeah, no, I was just saying, looking at that next week's part as well, where it says that there's going to be some accessories fitted. They look minuscule, and I think I'm going to have my dreaded screws.
Yeah, what do you think they are? Do you think you could get that picture up again, Horlicks?
Yeah. Um,
I really couldn't get a good scan. I don't know why. My scanner's been scanning fine, but um, we've got a black thing on the back of what I guess is the wheel. There we go, that bit. To the right of that, there's a little tiny silver bit. Maybe that could be a window opening hatch. Hinge, perhaps, or,
yeah.
or a window latch. I don't know what the black bit is going to be. And I also noticed that a little bit further down, there's a couple of things just floating in midair.
I'm wondering if there's. Oh no, they wouldn't be screws, would they?
Oh, they could be, I suppose. Oh, could they be that larger bit on its own? Could that be a handle?
Could be.
I will. Oh, tax disc holder. That sounds interesting. I will show you the magazine if it helps. But I don't think it's going to be any better.
Oh yeah, that may be the driver's handle grip to pull themselves so the driver can pull himself into the cab, perhaps.
Yeah, but it's. Oh yes, yes. So it'll go just there. Yeah, which is funny actually because I've got another book as well. I'll read you some excerpts of this. This is actually amazing. This book. I've seen somewhere in one of the two books how to get in the bus. These books by the way, I've not really had a chance to look through them. But there's so much information. This is actually made up of articles from the 50s. I will read you the first bit. There you go. They've got a picture of the inside of the cab explaining what everything does. So I'll probably try and scan some of these. I've also been to work today to I mentioned that there's a book that someone's made up. It's very rare, and you probably won't get another one anywhere else. And I've spent 3 hours, about 200 pages that I've scanned this morning. Unfortunately, excuse me, I'm ever so sorry. No, couldn't have been in that book. Then must have been in another one. Um, Unfortunately, I managed to leave it at work, so I'll have to pick that up ready for next week. But I've scanned it all onto A4 paper, and paper is about that thick. To give you an idea, there's the magazine compared to this pile of papers that I've scanned today. Um, so how will the front screw to the cab? Because the full front will have to go in one big lump, I think. Yeah, the manuscript, that's it. I copied it all today. I had a really busy day today because I wanted to go in for six, into work for six, which is actually earlier than I normally go in. So straight away I'm on a loser because I'm getting up before I normally have to. And I spent an hour trying to find the guy. Um, And then when I found him, I'd agreed to do a school run at 7:30. So I did the school run, and then I came back, and I just really. Oh, and then my manager caught my operations manager caught me, and she's just got this way of asking you that you just cannot say no. And she said, "We're really desperate. Can you do some overtime between 5 and 7?" So I went, "Oh, okay, as it's you." So that meant I couldn't come home and have a snooze. So I went and got my magazine. I did all my scanning and this, that, and the other. Managed 20 minutes in bed, and then I did. Oh, I've got to tell you this. I did my school run. I'm going to use some foul language, which isn't really foul, but um, the jury that I had today, I had the same school run in the afternoon as in the morning, and oh, sorry, I'm going to pause. Can we do a screw count? Because I've got two spare screws in this issue, not one.
Oh,
So I
okay.
don't
One
know if
minute.
that's.
I'll have a look.
Have I got spare parts? So anyway, I'll carry on telling the story. So anyway, I had a couple of kids on the bus that had already got on. Now we've got some. They have passes. It's a little bit pedantic, but rules are rules. Their school passes only allows them to travel on a particular bus. So even if you've got another bus that goes to the same place, they can't get on any other bus. And so these two kids had got on the bus, and then they were talking to a couple of kids that didn't get off the bus, that hadn't already got on. And one of the kids said, "Oh, can we get on this bus?" They said it to the other kids, and the other kids said no. And so the first ones went, "Well, why not?" So the other ones went, "Oh, because this bitch checks passes." And a little tear came to my eye, and I thought, at last, I'm finally recognised for the hard work that I do. Because there seems to be a lot of drivers that don't check passes, so the kids just get on whatever bus they feel like. And, so, and then I come along, and I'm the bad guy because I check passes, and if they're on the wrong bus, I don't let them on. And the 16-year-olds get charged adult fare, and they get on, they ask for child fare, and I'm like, but you're not a child, so you're going to have to pay adult fare. And then they try the, well, I don't have any more money trick. So I try the, sorry, then you're going to have to walk trick. And then suddenly they come up with their money. So, and I know I sound evil, but I just give back what the kids give me. So, anyway, how are we getting on with the screw count?
Right, so you would have got 13. Well, you should have had
Yeah.
13, and we've used 11, so there'll be two left.
Right. Okay. There should be two left then. Oh, that just threw me. This has happened before. But we should have one screw left over, and obviously a couple of times we've had more than one screw left over. But
Yeah.
that's okay. I feel better now. Because when we have more than one screw left over, I mean that's a bit strange, don't you think, Horlicks?
Yeah, normally, 'cause, yeah, you
Yeah.
normally just get the one.
Do you think that could be classed as unusual?
Very unusual.
Okay, fair enough. Right. So, Graham Priestwood says the silver thing in the middle could be fire extinguisher. They used to be that color and were CTC chemical ones until they were banned. CTC, are they the ones where it sprays in a chemical which kind of, when this chemical mixes with the air, it actually eliminates the oxygen. And as fire needs oxygen to burn, it then doesn't burn. But unfortunately, if anybody inhales it, they have a tendency to die because obviously, by the nature of it, it eliminates all the oxygen. I forget what they were called now, but I think that they stopped doing those at some point. But I think we're going to find a lot of things on this bus that we're going to, in this day and age, we're going to turn around and go, my God, did they really put? I mean, they used to build houses with asbestos, didn't they?
Mm.
So, yeah, I suppose it could be. But I'm liking a handle. I've also just remembered one other thing. Um, we were trying to figure out what these handle levers were, and myself and Michael, we think we've cracked it. A combination of the Routemaster book, and I'm going to have to try and find this now. There is one picture in the whole book. Page 98, I think. Does anybody else have this book? I think it's brilliant. It's Haynes Routemaster Bus. Oh, I'm on your view. Sorry. Enthusiast model, 1954 onwards, all marks. I'm going to look it up in the index. But it's got quite a lot of information in it.
Mark's like, "Oh, I'm nodding off here." No, I'm not. I am unusually tired today. I've been quite
Oh, I see
busy.
what you did there, Molly.
I've
So
been
why are
very
you
busy
so
at work.
tired?
No, I've just been busy at work, and I've been on some pain medication, obviously for my back. So it just
Right.
knocks me out. But I'm all right. I'm absolutely fine.
Have you still been understaffed?
No, it's not so bad now. We've been doing stock take.
Okay. Right.
But yeah, no, just I'm all right.
Right. I found the pictures I was after, and I can't seem to get the focus. Oh, I've put it on autofocus. That's why. Right. So this is a picture of the cab, and there's the levers, and you see they've got white tops.
Oh, I see.
Right. Now, if you then look on there's the levers there. They look roughly the same shape. Sorry, I can't get a light in there. But then this sign here says switch heater off when not required. White lever on, off, on. Now, I was actually talking to someone. We thought this was the heater control, and I spoke to the guy that's rebuilt a Routemaster, and basically one is a flap that just literally, it's just a hole with a flap, and it opens and closes it. You got to remember, back in the 50s, heating systems were very basic. And the second lever, what it will do, it's got a little channel in there. And if you position it one way, it will be pointed this way. So the heat from the engine will come through. And that's how you get your heaters. If you move the lever, it'll move to a different position. And that will be attached to a hole from the outside. So you'll get cold air coming in from outside. So it's literally on, off, hot, cold. And
Right.
it's as simple as that. So that's the conclusion. But the guy who's rebuilt Routemaster, he told me that as well after we'd already figured it out. So at least three people on the case, and three people say that they're heated. So, but the big clue really was this sticker there. It tells us like white lever off, on.
Yeah.
So Stuart, you've got a thank you from Stuart. I'll let you read that one.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much for the beautiful screw pots. Oh, that's all right. No worries. I sent you both of them in the end because obviously I just there was a bit of confusion about the colour, and I left you waiting for a little bit longer than I was hoping to, so I thought I'll just stick them both in. So you can alternate them.
Fair enough. Also, you've reminded me I need to show Adrian something. Adrian has asked me for some of the support blocks that I made. Um, I printed them off last night, but I couldn't. They were a 4-hour print, and I really needed to go to bed. But if you don't know if anyone remembers, but I'm not happy with the blocks that we got. I don't think they're that stable. This is only a Mark 1, but I've made these rods. I've actually lost one of my rods. Um, I did mine in white because I just happened to have white filament in at the time. But what you basically do is you pop. First of all, get a decent focus. So these are the blocks. So they stand up on the blocks like that. But as you see, they're quite unstable. So I've just developed these little rods that go in like that, and it just makes it more stable. And Adrian had asked me to print off a copy. So there's your 4 blocks. You've got white. This is just waste materials, what we call a brim, and it makes things stick to the bed because there's more surface area. It's white around the edges because that was the last color that I had in the printer. But they come out absolutely amazing, actually. Really
Yeah,
happy with that. That's actually draft print, not good print. And it's come out really well. And I think they'll look really nice with the black. So I think Adrian's made a really good choice. Just check they do fit. Yeah, there you go. I think they'll go really well, actually. But I am working on a Mark II. As you can see, that they don't line up too well with each other. So I want to make this bit more interconnecting. But yeah, that's it. Oh, he's also asked. I'm so hope you don't mind me showing you this, guys. He also asked to look at my parts drawer. So you've got the pill boxes that I use. I personally use the ones from Boots, which are these ones. They're £2.99, I think they cost. And then what you just need to do is just rub off the lettering on it. And if you use a really, really fine sandpaper, you can actually get that smooth. And then what I've done is I've actually adapted this from something I found on Thingiverse. So you've got 2 sides, which I've put little supports in the side. And then these are just big enough to put the pillboxes in. I've not used the bottom one. You've got supports on the bottom. I don't know why that one's got a hole in it. And then I did do this in one piece at first, but I changed the back. So you've got a little tray at the front, which I put a little lip on so that if you put anything on it, it's not going to roll off. And then the back, I've just put loads of holes in. So I've got my Aurea tweezers. This is like not the basic Aurea set, but I've just got all my basic tools in there. And I've also got my needle files in there. And they're all held in place with tubing. So you see that the tubes are different sizes, so that even though these are different lengths, they all poke out roughly the same height. I could do further work and get them a little bit more exact, but that's close enough. So you've got 2 back supports, so it makes it sturdy. And then I've developed 2 little trays, which instead of putting, I mean, this is big enough on the top from a pill box, but I thought this little parts tray would be a little bit easier. I've got a big part tray. I used this one today because most of the parts were big. And last week I used this a lot more because there were some tiny parts. And you see there, I've got this sitting there. That's not going to go anywhere. And whoops. Even if I accidentally tip this upside down, my parts aren't really going to go very far. So it's just a little bit of protection. It does use up a lot of plastic, and it does take a hell of a long time to print. But I've got a custom bit of most of this. I will be honest with you, most of this came off Thingiverse, and all I've done is I've just put some simple shapes in and worked some simple ideas
Yeah.
and just taken it from there. But that's basically what we did with the Aurea screwdriver holder, wasn't it?
Hmm.
Most of this was designed for us. We just decided we want the little dividers in there, and we just pop this little bit into the bottom there, and we're going to take this a stage further because I actually want this back to come up a little bit more, and
Yeah.
then I want a bit on the front so that I can put this in, and my I've got another tool somewhere which I've pushed to one side, but it's a mold line scraper, and as it stands, that's not really going to go in there very well.
No.
We didn't intend to put the ruler holder in, but it just happens to go in there really nicely. So I go with that now.
Yeah, it's
Um,
good. Oh
and
yeah,
I
because my drawers finished as well. Have you seen my drawers since they were done?
so we're showing each other our. Is it too heavy? No, it's. Oh, do you mean the actual box, or do you mean the screwdriver holder? It's a little bit, tiny bit top heavy, Chris.
Yeah, I think we
Um,
need to, in our version 2.1.0 or whatever one we're on, we need
point
to.
2, point 17, point 6.4,
Yeah, I
something.
think we do need to make it do something with the base because it does
Yeah,
seem to fall over a bit easy. It's all right on a flat surface, but if you try and, like, I was trying to build Carl's computer the other day, and when I had the Aurea set downstairs on the carpet, and it just wouldn't stand up on the carpet.
yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem because I've got a whole set of drawers that are kind of going around the corner, and I can actually glue mine to the end of one of the others, so it won't go anywhere.
Hmm.
Anyway, Horlicks, show us your drawers.
Oh yeah, I finished my drawers. There you go.
So just remind us what they're for.
So I printed this because I wanted something to put my because I've playing with Arduino projects. I've got resistors everywhere, so I wanted something to put my resistors in, and they're very small drawers, but I think they're deep enough and ample enough for my different types of resistor. Because I'm not going to need to put loads in there, even if I have sort of 10 resistors in each thing, and then I've got camera's not very good. There you go. And then I've got some deeper drawers at the bottom, which are quite deep, and they'd be ideal to put, I don't know, LEDs or switches or anything in there, really.
Small parts, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually used it yet, but the only problem with it is, which I didn't think about, the drawers aren't very tight. So if it gets knocked over,
Yeah,
everything's just going to come crashing out of it.
yeah.
So I need to think of something to keep them in.
I'm finding that as I print things, in theory they look smashing, but then you print them off and then you go, they're not quite right for me.
Hmm.
So then you adapt it or something.
But
That looks absolutely brilliant.
and then obviously I've got another project on the go at the moment, but it is top secret. It was supposed to have been
I know, because I was air wigging.
basically. So I may show that off next week if it's done. But
Well, that's okay, 'cause
now,
I too have a secret project on the go.
but
Well, I have two.
Do you understand now why I was on about paint and things?
Yes.
Because I was sort of asking about different paints and things, and I was like, oh. So yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, what I'm finding is that I started off primarily as painting, which is fine. It's something I really enjoy. Then when the Routemaster came along, obviously I got into doing the Routemaster, and then I kind of got into more part works. And I actually, one of the nice things about it is that there isn't, sometimes it's not actually as much work. It's parts are already painted. All I've got to do is bung a screw in and it's done. So it's a nice little welcome change. And then I've got into the 3D printing and the electronics as well. And I feel that I can, once I get a little bit better at them. I did a project on Twitch the other week. It's gone. You know me, I keep losing things. I'm sorry, guys. If anyone sees my desk, you'll know what I'm on about. But I found what it is a solder practice project, and what it is a 60-second countdown clock. You press the button, 60 lights light up, and every second one of them goes out, and when it gets to zero, a buzzer sounds. And why can I no longer find it? Oh, that's annoying. So basically, I had something like 100 odd, 150 solder points to solder, and I wouldn't say that I'm brilliant at soldering now, but I'm a hell of a lot better than I was. The actual project didn't work perfectly. Maybe I held the solder gun too long to one of the points and burnt it out or something. But it cost me £3.50, and I'm a lot better at soldering than I was. So I feel if I can combine the electronics and the 3D printing and the painting, I think I can come up with some pretty good. So yeah, it should be fun. I think you're thinking along the same lines, aren't you? So what have you brought up on your screen then, Horlicks?
Right, well, someone, who is it? Sorry, I forget. Oh, Stuart has asked me for a clue. Now, I would put the link to my printer up, but I think it's going to give it away.
Okay.
So, I was just going to show what I've ordered as your clue. So, I've ordered a little miniature on-off toggle switch.
Right, which is an on-off switch, yeah.
Yeah. I've also ordered some acrylic gloss paint.
Okay.
In a very lime green.
Humbrol before. I do get on well with the Humbrol, and I like the acrylics over the enamels. I personally paint in acrylic. Now I personally go for things like Vallejo, which are a little bit better paint. But you're getting something a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, basically, it was all.
For the level of the project, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Humbrol.
Yeah. I'll just see what it's like. If
loads
not,
and loads of kids have grown up on Humbrol doing their model aircraft, and they've come out really well.
So I've got a nice bright lime green gloss paint.
Yeah.
And I've also ordered some a 20-piece set of battery spring contact plates for battery terminals.
Okay.
And they fit AAA and AA. And this will all be incorporated.
Battery, do they?
Pardon?
They actually go on the battery, do they?
Yeah, you know, like when you open your TV remote and you've got the spring in there.
Oh, right, I see. So you're actually going to make a battery compartment.
Yeah, it's actually printing the compartment, but I need to put these in and fix them in.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
those ones on the top are going to be the negative points.
That's right. Yeah.
And the third one down and the fourth one down is going to be the positive point.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
I get you.
And really, that's all I can say until it's done. I mean, it's nothing too exciting. It's just a little project I'm working on, and I'm hoping to have it. Well, I need to have it done by next week, because one, I want to do it for me, and two, I'm actually going up to some fireworks next Saturday in Borough Green, and my best friend's mum is very into this, and I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to take it with me and show her. So that's all you're having, I'm afraid. You'll have to wait.
Is it something for Halloween?
No, it's not.
Right. Oh, that's handy then, because you've got a project that you're getting ready for next week.
Yeah.
I actually have a project which is, you do know about it, but the other people don't know yet. And I've got a project that will be ready for 2 weeks' time. So I'm already on
Oh,
the case for that
yes.
one.
I think I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
you
I
do
think.
know what I mean. So yeah, so for the next 2 weeks we'll have a little sideline project, and yeah, so that's going to be fun. I
And
think I know.
without giving anything away, how is that project going? Has it progressed since I last saw?
The progress is that it's looking very, very good, but
Right,
the cleanup is a lot more difficult than I thought.
right,
um, because I'm having to do a lot of sanding. And I tried using my Dremel drill, but the Dremel drill, it's too fast and it generates too much heat. So it actually melts the plastic rather than sands it.
right.
So I've got the laborious task of filing with these little things. And it's a long old task.
Have you
But
not
the
got a
painting
cordless drill you could put the bits in and then turn the speed right down?
just makes it no on minimum speed. It's too
Too
much.
much, yeah.
It melts it. Yeah. So it's a hard job. I've also, for fun, I've this one is a failure, but I've been getting some sample prints. You can't really see it too well, but I've got some House Stark ice scrapers, and I've been taking them into work, and I've been saying, "Do you know about Game of Thrones?" And they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Well, what's House Stark's motto?" And they say, "Winter is coming," and I go, "Well, you better have a windscreen scraper then." And I've just been taking them in. But this was actually done for someone, and as you can see, I just ran out of filament. But I've sized these down. I get all of these every time I order filament. I can order a free sample, so I've got all these different colours to try out, and these are 10 meters in length. So I've made these ice scrapers so that they're 10 meters. Well, a little bit less than 10 meters of plastic. So I've got free ice scrapers really. Yes, I do airbrushing. Um, I don't do it as much as I'd like to. And I'm not even going to look for my airbrush because you know what that's going to be like. Um, but yeah, I do. I haven't got anything that is airbrushed. Oh, I tell you what, would you like to see a project that I'm working on for? It's an unfinished project, but it's something that I'm working on for Halloween, but not the project I mentioned before. I'll see I know what the others are going to say. So this is a half-finished project, and is anybody aware of the three wise monkeys? The see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. You're aware of that one, aren't you, Horlicks?
Hmm.
Well, I found a design for the three wise skulls, and I've printed them off, and I'm doing them as copper. So I've only got 2 coats of paint on, but what I've done is I've gone in with a really dark copper color, and then I've done like what we call an overbrush, so that it gets most of it, but it leaves some of these darker recesses. And then I'll show you the colors I've used. Sorry, bronze, not copper. Or it might even be, it is copper, sorry, I tell a lie. So I've gone in first of all with a really dark copper color. As you can see in the recesses, it's really dark. And then I've gone in, there we go. Then I've gone in with a copper color, and that's going over the top. I need to put a second coat on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up all of these sharp highlights with a polished copper. Come on, focus. And
Yeah.
these,
Stuart just said really nice piece, really
it's
good piece, and
good, isn't
I
it?
love it.
Really, really
It just
nice.
looks so natural. It looks like it's
Yeah.
real.
And it's paint the first layer. And what you're actually doing on the second layer is that you're painting, but you're actually badly painting. Whereas when you normally paint, you're getting in there in all the creases. The second layer, what you're doing is you're painting like that. You see how I'm missing the deep creases. But then when I get to the third layer, just the highlights, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a really small brush, and I'm literally going to be flicking these edges, and it's just going to look like the light is catching it just on the edges. And yeah, I think it'll look really, really good. And but I showed my manager. It actually came out this color, and a lot of people thought it was made with clay. And then I put, as you can see, I primed it black. If you're ever using metallic paints, paint them black first because the metallics show better. But I showed her, I haven't shown her this layer, I've shown her the last layer. And her reaction was, you know what, Penny, I'm not into skulls, but I really, really like that. And I think that'll just be a nice ornament. I mean, I do like skulls. As you can see, I like purple as well. These just happen to be elephants. But yeah, it's great. And these paints by Darkstar, they are really terrific paints. They're quite thick, but they come out really metallic. They're like, well, you see, it looks like it's actually made of metal. So this is just a little sideline project for me. And I'll get it done when I get it done. So, but that's not anything to do. Top one looks like your ex-girlfriend. Let's have a look what your ex-girlfriend looks like. What does she not speak much then? See, I would have thought there's a couple of X's that I've got, which is that middle one. You know, la la la, I'm not listening. So and that's me. That's me when I see passengers at the bus stop.
Yeah.
I can't see you.
Chris has just said he still hasn't got around to sort his 3D printer out. Haven't had the time. I don't know if you saw my comment. Based on the video I've seen with your ex stop, as far as I'm concerned, that is working absolutely fine. I know there's a bit of a delay, but it does stop, so it does mean it is doing its job. And I don't think that wouldn't impact the actual print of your model. That's just there so the printer knows where the home is. And it is doing that job, so I'm not sure we need to be looking at something else. But of course, by looking at your video, as far as I'm concerned, that is working as it should.
So I just noticed that someone had said, sorry, I'm changing the subject back again. Stuart Sullivan said you can market this. Yeah, you can. But what I found is that it wouldn't be cost effective. Those skulls were about a 7-hour print, and the filament is, let's call it £1. So to make any proper money on that as a proper commercial venture, I'd probably have to sell that for about £100, and I can't see people buying it. A bit of plastic that's been painted, that's basically what it is. And for £100, I think that would be too much. I mean, there might be some daft people would buy it, but I don't think there would be enough people buy it to make a living. I mean, I do prints for people, and the rates I'm charging, I'm pretty much doing them as a favour. I sold one of these to one of the viewers, and I charged £3.50 plus postage, and that was just effectively. It's 3 times the cost of the filament plus the postage, so it came to about 5 to 6 quid. And I don't mind doing it to help people out, but I couldn't. That was, how long did that take to print Horlicks? That screwdriver holder, 6-7 hours.
Yeah, 7. I think it was. Well, mine was 7 hours and 59 minutes. I think.
Yeah, I couldn't make a living on £5 every £5 a day. That would be my working day. So if someone wants me to do a print, I'll chuck the printer on overnight and I'll go to bed and it's ready when I get up in the morning. If people want a little bit of this, that, and the other, that's fine. But if 10, 20 people came to me for orders, then I'd probably say, well, it's going to take about 4 or 5 weeks to complete. I could only ever do it. I mean, the good thing about the 3D printer is that you can do other things while it's printing.
Yeah.
I like to watch the printer, but I don't sit there staring at it. I was talking, was it Adrian last night? When he asked me to do these, I was watching intently on the first two layers because you really got to make sure they stick. But once the first, second, or third layer went down, I went to bed, and that's what I woke up to this morning.
That's the thing.
It,
Like I've figured that. Like I used to. I mean, I sometimes still do watch it like a hawk, but I don't actually watch it at all anymore. I just hit print and go off downstairs. I've
yeah,
got so much trust in it now that
yeah.
I trust it to do the first layer properly. Um,
Alan, you've just said send me one, give 20 quid. Which particular one are you talking about, Alan? But yeah, that's about it, Stuart. I mean, we'll do little prints to help the builders. Like I say, the stands and the Aurea screwdriver holder. We don't mind helping people out, but when we get inundated with requests, constant requests, obviously we don't get time to do the things that we want to do. And it's if I was able to charge, I suppose if I had 20 or 30 printers, um, I could probably produce this for 20 quid. And what I'd have 20 printers on the go, all printing the same thing. Because obviously, like if you've got one print that takes 7 hours, and now you've got 20 printers on the go, and you set them all to print at the same time, you're now producing 20 of them in 7 hours.
yeah,
And then you've just and to be honest with you, painting two or three together doesn't take that much longer than doing just one. Because if you do one, you paint it, and then you've got to wait for the paint to dry, and then you do the second layer. If you've got two, say three on the go, what you'll do is you'll paint one, then you'll paint the second, then you'll paint the third, then you'll go back to the first one, and the paint's dry, so you're straight in there with the second paint. So, uh, oh, had in your hands blue. What do you mean? You mean this? Is that what you mean? The screwdriver holder? Or do you mean that? Skull, screwdriver holder, or do you mean the rods? I'm confused now. Or had in your hands blue. The only other thing I've got blue is a paint pot holder. So this is a fun project I'm working on as well, is my paint pot holders. I'm going to have room for about 200 pots of paint. So rather than having them all sitting on the desk like this, then now the screwdriver. Yeah. Well, look, Alan, send me a message, and I'll sort something out. I won't ask you for 20 quid because I'll feel like I'm robbing you. But yeah, I'm quite happy to print one off for you. But if you want to drop me a message, well, you should see my Facebook address down there somewhere. And yeah, we'll deal with that one off stream. Right, is there anything else we need to deal with? We've talked about next week. We've talked about the manual that I've forgotten and left at work. Although I think that's done me a favour because that gives me time to put all of the pages into Polly Pockets. But you're going to love it. I was photocopying it this morning, and I didn't have time to read it because obviously about every 30 seconds a page was scanning. But I was skim reading it, and it's got things like when you put things together, if there's a gap, what to do about the gap, and if there's not a big enough gap, how to do this, and the gear ratios, and what to do if this happens, and the rev speeds at whatever temperature it is. When the engine runs cold, you get rev so many revs. Once it warms up, the revs will go up or down or whatever. And there's just so checkpoints on the chassis, and he's got like a hand drawn picture of all the suspension and everything, and it tells you all the points to check it. Basically, it's a manual that if someone delivered all of the parts that you need for a Routemaster, I'm talking about a real Routemaster, this book should help you put it all together.
yeah.
So and it's got some letters in there and newspaper articles as well, which I will share with you. The rest of the stuff I can't give you as a copy. I've been asked not to distribute it as is, but I could, for example, rewrite it, say in a Word document, and I can share that because then it's my work. So, but yeah, and I say I've got this to look through. This is absolutely amazing. This was £7.99, and it's even got all of the individual part numbers. I'll show you this. This page blew me away. It's all geek information, but it's got all the part numbers for all the individual panels. Come on, focus. There we go. Oh, it's really struggling to focus there, isn't it? Right. So every single panel on that bus, some of the panels are identical, but it's got part numbers for every single panel. How amazing is that? So instead of saying, oh, I want the fifth section, third one up, you can just go RM.04.7.CU.1. And the panel behind it is an RM.002.CU.2. It's just brilliant. So yeah, it's and actually I was going to read you this because this made me laugh. It's a little bit sexist, but it shows you the sign of the times. Really, I'll just change the view to. We'll have a little Jack and Ori session here, and the section is titled "Learning to be a Bus Driver," and it's from The Bus Driver by J. Armstrong in 1961. If you live near a large bus garage, you may sometimes have seen a driver's training bus with L plates at the front and rear, and a group of men in rather new-looking uniforms inside. Some companies use a perfectly normal bus for this work, but others have fitted old buses with two sets of driver's control, one for the instructor and one for the learner. This arrangement is particularly suitable for teaching men who have not driven any kind of vehicle before. And then it goes on, it gives you kind of a case study. It says, we will join one of these travelling schools for drivers and find out some of the things the men are taught. On board the bus, there are 6 learner drivers, an experienced foreman driver who is acting as their instructor. 4 of the men have only just joined the bus company, and the other 2 are conductors who have applied to transfer to driving. All 6 men have their ordinary driving licenses and will shortly be taking the special driving test for the bus driver's license. This is called the Public Service Vehicle Driver's License. Public Service Vehicle is a rather long-winded official name for a bus or coach. A driver must have this license in addition to his ordinary driving license before he is allowed to take out a bus or coach on service. To show that he has passed the test and been given a license, a bus driver has a red bordered badge with a number on it that he must wear when on duty. You will usually see it on his coat lapel. And it's just, I love it. It's so 60s. And I love the way that they say men, because there were no female drivers back then. So you will only see men. And there's little diagrams on what happens with the bus when it goes around corners and what happens when you drive on a cambered road, and loads of things that you just don't think about as a car driver because you don't need to think about them as a car driver. The overhang of the bus, the turning circle. Oh, here we go, look. A space of at least 2 foot 2 inches must be provided between rows of seats, measured from the back of one seat to the same point on the seat immediately behind or in front. In the case of facing seats, the distance between them may be reduced to a minimum of 1 foot 7 inches. A minimum of 1 foot 4 inches width must be provided for each passenger on each seat. So you only get given 1 foot 4 inches, that's 16 inches. Which is about that much, which is not quite an average person's body width. So yeah, they did have female bus conductors. And Izzy's saying that. So, Izzy, it's really nice that you join us. You know, even if people only join us for 5 minutes, we appreciate that some people are in different time zones, and it's really nice to have you around. So, right, so yeah, I've got to be honest with you. I'm running out of things to say now. What about you, Horlicks?
No, I don't. Yeah, nothing. I don't think bus related.
Right. What about DeLorean
Um.
related or
Oh,
art?
actually, mm, well, I've done. I could talk. I've built some of my bus since we last spoke. Um.
Okay. Are we having a sneak peek here?
Yeah, I've done the. Well, these are. Yeah, these are. Actually, I think we're up to date. Yeah, we're up to date anyway.
Did you have a parcel at the weekend?
Oh, what for the Routemasters? Yes.
I'm prompting you here, Horlicks. Was it
Yes.
unusually heavy?
It was.
It was.
Very, and I got. Yeah, no, definitely. I got the chassis, which isn't obviously out yet, but previously I've done the rear differential. So that's that part done. And then the last issue I did today. No, well, that was released today. Was a suspension arms bar.
Ah, yes, that's the one where we, if I remember rightly, we had quite a lot to do for a few weeks. Then they gave us that, which is not an awful lot to do.
No.
And then the next issue is going to be, oh my God, look at the size of it now. Or something like that.
Yeah, I've got them here, and I haven't built them yet.
I mean, are we asking you too much if we ask you about issues that you haven't released on YouTube yet?
No, not at all. It's fine. Well, I don't know what's in it. I haven't opened them, but yeah, I've got obviously 16 and 17 now, which are nice and heavy. Obviously, got the chassis in there, so I'll be soon. I'm going to have to clear this shelf completely.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be no room.
As I said to you before, welcome to the world of, oh my God, I haven't got much space anymore.
Well, it's a bit like that with the DeLorean now. I mean,
that's only one model, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, for some strange reason, we both want to do the Ecto 1.
Oh, yeah. And obviously we've got a wheel, which is a wheel. So yeah, that's it really. Oh, and then I also got a replacement mug. The story of this is actually because I phoned them and asked them. They said I should have had it, so they sent me one, and it arrived in bits. It was in about 25 million pieces.
Was it a partwork mug?
Yeah, the Routemasters freebie. So I've kept it's still got shavings in there. I've kept the lid and the bands just in case I lose it. I need to wash that. Obviously, it's got chippings of glass in there, but yeah, it was in literal bits. But they were really quick to send me out a new one, and I got this the other day. So I was going to use this evening actually, but I'm sorry, Alton Towers mug wins every time.
See, now I'm Routemaster through and through. I always use my Routemaster, but I daren't show you the inside of the mug because you tell me off, don't you?
It's only the size of it. I mean, look. I mean, this is quite big, but it dwarfs it.
It's a normal travel mug. I mean, what I said before was that
it's not a travel mug, is it?
I rate it as a travel mug, but
no,
it is an excellent mug.
I just think it's too heavy, and it's made of China, and if you're on a building site or something and you take this to work with you drop that. It's gone. But I won't even use it. I don't want to use it. It's just part of my display, really. I'm like that. I've still got my Star Wars cap up there. still in its plastic, and I've got the mug up there I've not used. I've got the pen up there still in its plastic.
Yeah, it's funny because I've got the freebies I got with the Routemasters, and I wasn't particularly overly interested in them, and I was contemplating giving them away, but now I kind of quite like them. I
Yeah,
notice you've got your plate up the back there.
yeah,
I've got mine somewhere, and I've also got the roundel, the emblem, which I don't think you've got yet.
yeah. It's up the top.
And oh right, okay.
They sent this with my issues 22, 23, and 24 and all that.
Yeah. See, I really like mine now. And it's nice because if you haven't subscribed to the Routemaster, you haven't got one. So it kind of is a
Yeah,
nice little extra, isn't it?
I put that on the
And I think
Routemasters
if you get
shelf.
a great mug, I think I'll be devastated. But I don't rate it as a travel mug. I just rate it as a very good mug.
That's the thing, though. I mean, that's the differences between us as well, because obviously you'll use the mug,
Yeah.
as it's intended to be used, but
Well,
I
I
won't.
think it's bad if you don't use it. It's what's the point in having it as a mug?
Oh, there's another clue to my project while I've just spotted it. I don't. Those of you building the DeLorean,
You've just gone on to mute, Horlicks.
what's going on? There we go. Hello, and I'm back in the room. Yeah, no. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, that needs soldering on. See, look at the root
Oh
moss.
no!
The soldering from Eagle Moss is
Has it come
terrible.
off? Is it? That's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah,
Maybe it's a little bit unusual.
very unusual for no. Do you know what? Eagle Moss's electrics are terrible. But these are the LEDs that were issued wrong for the on the top of the DeLorean. Now, these are going to be used in my secret project this week as well.
Okay, so it's got flashing lights then, or lights of some description.
Yeah, but I'm going to need to crack the soldering iron out and resolder that because that's just falling apart. But that's not a big issue. Not a big issue at all. So yeah. Sorry, it was just another little clue. But you won't guess.
No.
Yeah, Chris, thank God the R2 electric's good. I agree with that. Very good. There was a little bit of we were questioning the leg sensors, weren't we? And I was called an alarmist, but that's for another conversation. But no, yeah, very good. The whole R2D2 build has been fantastic, actually. Everything about it, absolutely fantastic. I'm still waiting for my next delivery, and I've got it quite late. I've seen a lot of people put in 2, 3, 4 issues up already for this month, and I haven't had a delivery yet.
And then maybe the postman's seen it and thinks, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
No, postmen are lovely. If anyone's a postman, you do a wonderful job.
I mean, the only other I've shown some of you. No, I haven't. I've shown Penny this. This is a little sneak preview, if you don't mind.
Wonderful. I love seeing partwork builds.
This is the DeLorean so far. It's all bolted together. And then I'm just going to open the door here. You've got all the lights on the side.
I'm so scared you're going to drop that.
No, it's so heavy. There's my headlights.
That's really nice.
And then obviously you can put the wheels down. Yeah, brilliant.
What holds those wheels up then?
Magnet.
Okay.
They're very fragile though. I mean, I'm surprised it can support itself, to be honest. And then obviously you've got the back. Oh God, it is so heavy. And then when you put your foot on the brake pedal, if I can find the brake pedal, there you go. The brake lights come on.
And they all work.
And everything works as it should. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
But that's because I, like yourself last week, I suggested we check the electrics and that switch. Now the brake pedal in this DeLorean is exactly the same. Um, is exactly the same principle as the Routemasters switch, but the problem is I tested this before I put it together, and I'm so glad I did because it wasn't working. It it wasn't making a contact at all, so I had to actually bend the pins to make a good connection, and then I had to play with a multimeter until I was happy. So, spending that little bit more effort on each issue as they come, it pays off at the end. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'd be now swearing and really annoyed because I'd have to undo probably 40, 50 issues worth of builds
Yeah.
because that switch now is buried, proper buried in the middle of the car. So to get,
Yeah, this is with our electrics on the Routemaster. We've now tested 3 wires. Now we don't know when we're going to connect those wires up to something.
no,
I mean, on the Millennium Falcon, all right, we've tested the wires that we've got, but we got some wires for the for the cockpit quite early on.
mm,
We're up to about issue mid 20, and there's no circuitry coming in or anything. We don't know when it will come in, and for all we know, the circuits for this Routemaster might come in issue 128.
well,
Uh,
exactly. It's the same as this DeLorean. With R2D2, you get all test kit, you get
yeah,
test circuit boards, and every step of the way, you build an electrical component. It's asking you to test it in the
yeah,
magazine. But
yeah,
with this DeLorean, there was none of that. It's just
yeah,
literally save them, save them, save them. We didn't get the circuitry until I think it was about issue 56 or 57 or something. And even then, it didn't ask us to test it
yeah.
until it's still actually to this day, it hasn't told us to put batteries in this thing.
So you've
So,
only tested because you want to make sure it works.
yeah, so I've basically tested things, but obviously, what with having an Arduino, um, I've been testing things as I go
Yeah,
if I felt it was safe to do so, because obviously some of the LEDs, like these ones, don't have a resistor in line, so you need to be careful about what you're plugging in, because obviously you
yeah,
can start blowing things. So with things like this, I would set up the Arduino with a resistor and
yeah,
then test
yeah.
LEDs and things. But I appreciate not everyone knows anything, knows about sort of stuff like that.
No,
And
that's
why would
perhaps
you?
something that we could do as a mod. These connectors that you can get them quite freely on places like Banggood.
Yeah,
So we could actually make a test kit. I mean, I suppose once you've got one test kit from one model, you could probably test it on, use it on something else, perhaps.
well, yeah, all the plugs seem to be the same sort of thing,
Yeah,
and it's
but
easily done because you can
all you
print.
would need is 2 different types of sockets. One with a buzzer on it to test switches, and one with a resistor on to test LEDs.
Yeah,
I suppose
and
that's all you really need, done,
it's
isn't
so
it?
easily done because we can print off a battery box in PLA
Yeah,
with those components I showed you earlier with the
yeah,
springs. You've got yourself a battery box.
yeah.
Easy.
So I suppose we could get cracking on that then, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could
You
do
could,
and show it off in the next couple of weeks for the next electrical bits.
yeah. So yeah, but I mean, it makes. I mean, like I say, now I've tested my wires and my bulbs. I know they all work.
And you can
But
sleep
when
easy.
yeah, well, I'll sleep easy anyway because I don't worry until things actually go wrong, which is probably a bit of an error of mine. But I say once we get the circuit boards, if it doesn't work, well, I know the wires work, so it's got to be the circuit board, isn't it,
Yeah,
or a particular chip.
yeah,
So
you know. But it's just good practice, I think. I've always been the same. You're building
yeah,
them with electrics. If I can get away with trying to test them, I will. I mean, to be fair, if the R2D2 didn't have the test circuit boards to test the sensors, things like that, I don't think I would be able to test. But
well, thank you very much, Alan. Alan's watching Dad's Army, and he says Captain Mannering looks like me. I don't know whether to laugh or cry at that. So I've been called worse. So
But
yeah.
yeah,
So right. So I'm going to leave you with a funny story. I was in a restaurant the other day, terrible restaurant. Food was average, and I asked the waiter asked me what I'd like next. And I said, "Oh, could I have death by chocolate?" And next thing I know, he's gone in the kitchen, and now he's clubbing me to death with a Toblerone. And then day before that, I was at the bingo with. I love that. Sorry, Chris Campling said, "Don't tell him Pike." Have you seen that scene? You've got a guy called Pike, and this German is trying to report him or something. He says, "What's your? I'm reporting you. What's your name?" And Captain Mannering says, "Don't tell him, Pike." So yeah, it's a bad joke, but it's really funny. Um, yeah, I was at the bingo with my friend the other day, and we have this policy where we share our winnings 50-50, and we were playing. Sorry, just bear with me a sec. I apologise, Alan. Alan's just made a comment. There we go. He's put "you stupid boy," which YouTube seems to have thought might have been a rude comment, so it's asked me to review it, so that's not a problem. Yeah, so we share our winnings 50-50, and we were playing the big. Sorry, I've got this on you all the time. So yeah, we're playing the £250,000 jackpot game, and I turned to my friend and I said, "Oh, what do you need?" And she said, "Oh, I only need 13." So I thought, "Oh, brilliant." Anyway, the next number that came out, the bingo caller goes, 1 and 3, unlucky for some, 13. Well, I went mental, didn't I? I jumped up. Yeah, we won, we won, we won. And my friend goes, "Oh, steady on. We now only need 12."
yeah.
Right. So, unless you've got anything to add, I'm going to end the show. I'm sorry it's a little bit of a short one this week. Next week might be a bit longer, but if it is a shorter issue, I'll have more to show you. I'll have my books sorted out, and I've got my book that I've done this week. So, anything to add before I disappear?
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, then. So, thank you very much for everyone watching. Another good show. I did enjoy the build. It was a little bit shorter. Maybe that was a bit of a bit of light relief, I think. You know, again, looking at it over the course of 4 issues at a time, I think this would be. I forget what the last subscription one was. I can't remember. I think it was 38. So you got 39, 40, 41, 42 will be the next subscription pack. You know, and it's kind of a nice, easy one, and then next week's a bit of body work. It looks like we're doing all of the driver's cab, and then the driver's cab will get attached. So,
Yeah.
any speculation on how long before we actually attach the driver's cab? And also, don't forget, I'm not having to lift that bloody chassis every week. That's a bit of relief for me as well.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Alan is saying bins, bins, bins. Now,
Yeah.
unless it's changed, have you been relieved of that duty now, Penny?
Have I been what?
You've been relieved of that duty now,
I
haven't you?
have indeed, yes. Yes, because the big bin goes out on a Wednesday, and we seem to have the landlords come round, and they seem to fill the bins up for us. Um, I'm actually not wanting to do it anyway because I had a bit of a row with them over the electric cuts, and I'm actually behind with my rent because I went in and I just went, look, I said, "I'm really sorry, I'm short of money because my 3D printer blew after the power cuts, and I've had to spend money fixing it."
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a bit behind on my rent at the moment. And plus they said, "Oh, well, you are in an awful lot." So I thought, well, what I might do then is I might fall, say, 3 weeks behind on my rent, and then go in and pay a month, and then not go in again for a month. And if they say you keep falling behind on your rent, I'll just say, well, you were saying I was in an awful lot, so I thought I'll just reduce the amount I come in. So
Oh, and
that's
Chris just
silly.
yeah, and then just reply to Chris. He's guessing a Christmas tree. No, you couldn't be further away from it. Nothing to do with
Well,
Christmas.
given that it's going to be here next week,
Hopefully.
yeah, no, I'm not going to guess. Mainly because, well, no, I'm not going to guess.
Well, you
Right.
know what it is because you
Okay.
were
I wasn't
earwigging,
going to. I
remember?
wasn't. Yeah. Okay. All right. I know what it is,
Which was very
but
unusual for you to
very
earwig.
unusual. Yes. So yeah. No. I wasn't far wrong with the guess that I made. Um,
No.
although the country of origin was quite wrong. But yeah, I need a new projector to build 1:8 scale, maybe the Ecto or the DB5 or DeLorean. I'm actually looking into well, first of all, because I found on Thingiverse, I found the Ecto 1 in 1:50 scale, and I've actually found the Firehouse to go with it. And I'm looking at converting that to 1:8 scale. I'm trying to find the excuse to not build the Ecto 1 because of money. And I think if I can keep an eye out for what's happening, because I've got a madcap idea that if I increase my knowledge in Arduino, I could actually build an R2D2 and put all the features in that the partwork has, and it'll be a lot more work. But one project I'm looking into is the BB-8, which could be a good project. And you've disappeared, Horlicks.
No, I'm here. Sorry, I was just
Okay,
checking on my little
I just
project.
looked up and I thought, "Where's Horlicks?" So, love that bus above your head, Horlicks. Is that your blocks one that you're talking about, Alan?
Oh,
You're gonna
this
have to
one.
show off. Yeah, that is a £5 model, which Horlicks has adapted. But you did go through it the other week, didn't you?
Yeah, I've adapted it and wired it in with the USB and put some LEDs in the headlights because
What?
it was made known to us that it would be nice to do and it would be impossible. So I took it as challenge accepted. So
Yeah,
there
that's
you
the kind
go.
of thing I do.
I'm still waiting for Penny to do her
Do you know what?
modification.
I might do that. What I'll do is I'll show you mine to save you getting yours off the shelf.
Yeah, it's sort of stuck with a wire at the moment where it's plugged in.
Yeah, this is the model. I don't think you can buy it anymore. I think it's gone out of stock. But it's a very simple model. There's no seats or anything in it. And it takes what, a couple of hours to build,
Yeah.
and then it's very cheap, but it's all compatible with proper Lego. But it's very good value for the money. A lot of if you go into Wilco and look at I think they're called blocks kits, and they're really good. What Horlicks has done is just taken it a stage further and just put some LEDs in. I've got a couple of them. I've got a London taxi as well. I'm going to change that focus. So I've got the London taxi, which this was actually reduced to half price because allegedly there were some parts missing, but I haven't found any parts missing. So I got this for £2.50 instead of £5. But yeah, but I mean, it's not a patch on the Lego bus. The Lego bus is absolutely amazing, but the Lego bus is what did I pay for this? £130, something £100,
Yeah.
something like that. But the Lego bus is absolutely amazing. But you know, £5, £100. But Lego is absolutely amazing. Um, you've got scuffs on seats. You've got, if I pull that up, you've got a bit of bubble gum on the floor there. You've got the fact that the roof comes off nicely, so you can have a look inside. You've got a choice of number plate styles. I went for the black number plates because that's a bit older. And then if you take the roof off, you've got the lower deck. You've got, I thought we had a newspaper somewhere.
Is that in the back?
I think it might be in the back. Yeah, it's in the back there. Someone's left a newspaper behind. And they've left a can of Coke or something on the front on the window. Just might see it. There you go, just inside the window there. Um, and this was what, 8 hours to build.
Mm.
But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. More scuffed seats there. It hurt my hands. Oh, you got an umbrella at the back, and you've even got tickets, which you can actually post in the used ticket bin. But it was lovely. You've even got a sliding cab door. So
Yeah.
and you've got the engine as well.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely amazing. Really, really good. I really enjoyed that. I might even pull it all apart one day and rebuild it because
Okay.
it was good fun to build. But it's a lot better quality. I mean, like I say, this was a fiver. If this, I would give these two the exact same rating, because this you've got to rate it as a cheap budget model, and this was a lot more expensive, but it's a lot more detailed and fun. So, and I even dropped it once, didn't I? That my heart, I think all of our hearts stopped, didn't it?
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
actually, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what I'm going to be doing, not soon, but I will be doing one day. I picked up, I was a bit annoyed at this at first. I bought this book in W.H. Smith's, and I thought it was like a hobby book, and it's got all different things in. There's a big section on dolls' houses, and it's kind of tickled my fancy because these are all of this stuff is 1 to 12 scale. Because one of the things that I'm after is 1 to 12 scale leather for my seats for the Newport build. But let me show you something that really caught my eye. Two are bus related, and so it's three things that caught my eye. Two is bus related, and one isn't, but I think looks amazing. There we go.
Model
So we've got
railway.
the model B, the London B type bus. Is that right? Sorry, I can't get the focus right. And that's 1 to 24 scale, which is the same scale as the Revel bus that they do, which I may do. I've got it in here for 54 quid. But that caught my eye as well. The double-decker tram. And there is actually a motor kit with that. It's a lot of money. £95. And it's wooden and white metal parts, but that looked fun, and I thought
Yeah, that was amazing.
maybe I could do that and treat it as a part work. There's also
and the qualities. It's going to be one of those models, isn't it? You don't just whack together in 10 minutes. It's probably going to take weeks.
But then you've got some other things that are fairly similar. You know, if you're doing this, you're doing the tram because it's similar to the bus. Then you could be looking at things like this, the Istanbul tram and the San Francisco one.
Yeah.
Some really nice ones, but the one that really caught my eye, here we are. There's the Revel bus. It's the same scale as the tram. I really like that transit van because they just remind me of the old style cops and robbers. Because the bad guys always had that transit van. But I absolutely love that fire truck. But that's 1 to 25 scale. And the Escort, I've always loved the Escort, the RS 1600. And then you've got the trucks, which all are the same scale. But these are more plastic model kits. But yeah, these two buses, well, the tram and the bus really caught my eye. So
I'd really like to get into like model railways. I've always been interested in model railways, but I just haven't got the room.
Yeah,
it's I've had the odd train set, and then you stick it up and play with them, but it's not the same as a model railway, is it?
no.
When you make all your buildings, do all the scenery, and until I've got somewhere I can have it set up fixed.
Yeah. Alan Rooney says the Sweeney. Yeah, you got it. Now this, I probably won't buy it, but these are, I think they're wooden moving automated models, and this one really caught my eye. The Demon Dentist. It just made me laugh. I'm trying to get the focus in. There we go. That's about the best I can get. I just think that's really funny, and
Yeah,
I want to see how that's going to move. Apparently, you can buy a motor kit for these as well. So, and the guitarist, but this is a skill 9 out of 9. So I don't know if that's the right one for me to start with. But there's loads of these. But I bought this catalogue yesterday. Oh, that's caught my eye. Football stadiums. Why do they never do Wycombe Wanderers? That's just not fair, is it? Ooh, painting by numbers. Done paint by numbers. They're not as easy as the Metal Earth. I've done the Metal Earth ones before. They're good fun. I bet there's so much stuff in here. And then, oh, there's another one that caught my eye as well. The Tamiya USS Enterprise. 1 to 350 scale. That's going to be big. So, but yeah, they're things that I might look at doing. And they do quite a large section on radio control, but they do a lot of bits. Oh, battle station diorama kit. I quite like that. Anyway, I'm sidetracking now, aren't I? So, but I've talked about doing boats before, haven't I?
yeah.
But it's the working with the wood. But yeah, they do all sorts of stuff. They do airbrushes. Would someone mentioned how much was the hobby book? This book was £3.50, but they brought a new one out today for £3.45. But this price is actually refundable. If you make an order of £50 or more, they'll knock £3.50 off the price. Oh, Donny Rovers. Didn't I'll tell you what, now I used to live in Sheffield. Sorry, we're going to completely divert onto football now. I actually trained to be a bus driver in Sheffield. And we used to sort of deal with Doncaster and Rotherham. Now, Doncaster, I think they'd just been they were either in the non-league or they'd just been relegated to non-league. And I don't know what happened, but something happened, and they did really, really well, and they went all the way up to the championships, and then they kind of just came down again. And for a little club to just jump up there like that, it was fantastic. So yeah, full kudos. But I stay away from the north at the moment because I tend to move to a new area, and then the local team gets relegated. I lived in Sheffield when Sheffield Wednesday got relegated from the Premiership. I moved back to Norwich and they got relegated. Oh, first of all, I moved to Barnsley the year they got promoted to the Premiership, and they went straight down. Then I went to Sheffield, and say Wednesday went down. Then I moved to Norwich, and Norwich got relegated. I'm thinking about moving to Old Trafford, actually. Sorry, you won't get that unless you're a football fan, will you?
No.
So, but Old
Yeah,
Trafford is the
basically, I
home.
think I know what you mean. So if you move
Yeah.
there, then they get relegated, and then
Yeah. So, right, okay, guys. So it's now 10 o'clock. So I'm going to disappear. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, if you want me to do any focuses on other projects or Horlicks as well, then I'm more than happy to. I'm going to try and keep this as a bus or things that we can do with buses, which is why I was looking, because I'm kind of got a bit of a confession actually. When I bought this Routemaster, I thought it was just a good model, and that's all I bought it for. as I've got more and more into it, I've really become really interested in buses and things, which is why I've ended up buying. Oh, I've still got that alarm set for 10 o'clock on a Wednesday, even though I don't need it anymore. Um, so I'm now. I mean, I bought this bus because I'm now living in Wales. I mean, that's not really much, but I've got the Routemaster bus, I've got the Lego bus, two Lego buses, and it's just, yeah, I got the bug for buses now. So maybe I'm becoming an anorak. Um, I don't know the admin from the Facebook page. I know one of them is it Kevin or Kelvin? One is Corey, and Corey doesn't seem to have too much to do with the group. I think she just kind of helps admin it. Um, but the best thing, I would speak to Kevin because he tends to be a little bit more active. Um, Tried to get him on the show, but unfortunately, he's got the job where he doesn't do much, but he has to be on standby. And if he's called into action, then he really is busy.
Hmm.
So I think he's kind of got a bit of free time to do Facebook, so he's a bit more probably one of the best people to be admin because he has this time unless something happened. All right, if Kevin doesn't know, then I think there's three admins, isn't there? But other than that, I don't know. I know there was another group which for politics reasons I won't go into because they
I mean,
run their group their way.
it could just be that maybe someone accidentally clicked off of it by error. So maybe it's worth trying to, obviously, if it was to do with the group, just try and post it again and see what, I'm sure they'll soon message you if there is a big issue.
Mm.
They could have done it in error. They might have knocked it and
Yeah, that does happen.
cleared it off by mistake, trying to delete another post, perhaps.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. All right, okay, guys. So I'm going to finish now because I'm going to need my sleep as well. Let's say thank you for watching. Looking forward to next week, and let's say subject confirmation. We should have our guest. We're actually still looking for occasional guests. So if anybody fancies coming on, I'm sorry, I keep going on to you, Horlicks, when I'm talking.
That's all right.
So if anybody fancies making a little appearance, you don't need a video camera, um, but obviously you will need a mic. So if you want to sort of take part in the show, drop us a message. We'd love to have you on. What we're really keen on, what we're really keen to hear about is what people are enjoying about the builds. There's parts that I'm enjoying that you may not like, and then the bits that you like I may not enjoy so much. So yeah, drop us a message, and I say I've got a couple of people that want to come on, and we've not really been able to take it forward at this stage. But we're kind of working on it. So yeah, so if you fancy having a pop in, I'm also a bit of a scoop. I've forgotten his name now. The YouTuber that I told you about the other week, he's just started doing the Routemaster. He comes from Europe somewhere, and he has to get his parts in from somehow. I want to contact him because I think he does some absolutely brilliant YouTube videos. I really love them. I think he does them in batches. Right, that's it from me then, and I will see you next week. And goodbye from Horlicks.
Yeah, see you later, everyone. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I'll
All
see
right then.
you next week.
All right, take care, guys. Everyone. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye bye.